Welcome to the Greener Gifting Gang podcast, the show that delves into the reasons we love to choose, wrap, and share gifts with each other. Hi, I'm your host, Eve Kale, founder of Gift Wrapped by Eve, and I'm on a mission to help you experience the joy of gift giving while also considering the planet. Each episode, I'll be sharing ideas or interviewing guests who will help inspire your choice of gifts and how you present them. Whether that's for your own gifts or products you create or sell in your small business, we'll help you consider how to make small changes that can help your gifting be a little greener. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Greener Gifting Gang. Something a bit different today. Nicola runs a small business and helps other business owners. So she may be able to help you if you are a listener who has a small product business or a giftable business. But we're also going to talk about gifting in your own life as well, Nicola. Let me pass over to you so you can introduce yourself to the listeners.
Thank you so much, Eve. I'm really excited to be here on the podcast. So yeah, I'm Nicola Walsh from This Mum Loves Tech. And I set up my business to help other business owners sort out their tech, especially if you are in that kind of gifting, making product space. The thing you love is making the products, not becoming your own IT department. And that's why I help you, because it is things like, setting up, being able to sell your products online and getting people on your email list so that you can tell them when you release new products, because we know with things like social media and all that kind of stuff, like people don't always see all your posts. So making sure that you've got different bits of tech and things set up in the background means that you can get your products out there and into the inboxes of more people.
Yeah.
And that's what I help people do. But I also do love personalized gifting, which is something we talked about when we said about coming on here. Is I've got 2 boys, hence the business name, This Mum Loves Tech. And what I really love is creating personalized gifts for my family with photos of the boys on. My background is I used to design children's books, so I used to be part of a product business.
Right, okay, I did not know that.
Do you know that? Yeah, so I used to
Really?
design
That's
children's
smart.
books, like pop-up books, sticker books, all that kind of thing. Then I had children and stopped doing that. So I very much kind of come from that idea of creating something and going, when I used to go into like a shop and seeing the kids picking up my book because like, so it's all under my maiden name, not my married name now, which is like Walsh is my married name. You can basically you can Google me and my products will come up.
Exciting. I can't believe I didn't know that. So are you like a graphic designer?
Yes. Yeah.
Was it about making the graphics kind of bring the story to life, or did you write the stories as
So
well?
they were educational books.
Yeah.
But they were very much, they weren't like your story picture books. They were educational and interactive books. So yeah, it was lots of like lifting flaps up, doing sticker sheets and pulley tab things and furry bits on them and all that kind of interactiveness, lay out all the pages. And what my favorite bit was working all of the like techie bits out, like sticker sheets, because you have like a certain amount of stickers and this amount of space and you've got to make it fit together. That was one of like the bits that I enjoyed the most. And when you're printing things, you have to print some things up the wrong way to then when it goes, like if it's a pop-up, for example, bits have to be printed in certain ways so that when it all goes together. So I liked working all of that bit out, and we used a lot of photographic real life pictures rather than illustrations.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of cutting out pictures, because this was before you could just press a button and it would take the background away for you, like you can do now in Canva. Like you had to manually go and do it yourself. So yeah.
Got a creative, so you've actually got a creative background as well as the techie side of things. Interesting. And so these days you've got quite a lot of clients who have creative businesses. And what is the most common thing that you find them coming to ask you about?
Well, most of the people I work with, I start working with them because they realise they need certain bits of tech set up, like even just a professional email address. Because if you want to do email marketing, you need a professional email address. And they're like, well, where do I get started with that? And there's all of the processes that go within that. It's like all these things that you didn't realise you need when you start a business to make it work online. So it's mainly helping people just understand it and get clear. And my big thing is I don't do it for people, because I think, especially when you are new to starting it out, things are going to change quite a lot. Your business is going to evolve, especially if you create new products. You're going to need to know how to add those to your website or how to change your pricing, because maybe you put it up and then you realize, oh, hang on a minute, I haven't actually priced this right because I'm not actually factoring in my time of doing this and all that kind of thing. And if you can't manage that yourself, and send out an email to tell people you've got a new collection going live or something like that, if someone else has done that for you, you're then always reliant on somebody else, and you can't move your business at the pace that you want to move it at. Whereas if you understand how to do it yourself, even if you do outsource it to somebody as the business grows, you still then, at the end of the day, if they're not available, your business doesn't stop because you can do it. And that's what I've seen is so many people, they'll get someone to just do it for them because they don't understand the tech, and they get stuck because they're like, well, I know I need to do this, or I want to launch this new thing, or I've got a new line of a new collection and I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to half launch it because I can't update my website, or I can't send out the email that tells people. So I can put a post on social media, but that's not enough to get really to launch something properly.
It's one of these things that as a small business, we are mostly doing everything, aren't we?
Yeah.
And specifically talking to people listening to the podcast that make products. Your passion is for your making, your passion, and a lot of your time is going to be spent designing and making. And when it comes to promoting your products, you haven't got the luxury of a big department. I used to work for a big organization, and I was in a marketing department of over 100 people, and I was just one part, and you can't imagine that as a small business owner, you are literally doing everything, aren't you? So I think what's great about what you're offering is you're offering to show people how to do it so that they can manage it themselves if they want to, and know how to do it, and do it in a way that is going to work for them so that they aren't going to be spending hours doing it, because they kind of understand how it all sort of fits together. Because it is a really important part. And one of the things I talk to small businesses about a lot is how to promote what you're offering so that you actually are visible, because you don't want to be the best kept secret, your beautiful products that you spent hours designing, and then, like you say, just putting a couple of posts on social media isn't going to be enough to sell your amazing gift bundle that you put together. All of those other elements like email marketing, so important. And I saw just this week another creative business who'd shared another creative business's new page, because their old page had, for whatever reason, been suspended by Facebook. And I bet that's something that you've seen quite a lot, would you say?
Yeah, and that's definitely why I've got such a passion for email marketing, because you don't own your followers. And if you don't, you don't know what's going to happen. Accounts get hacked, accounts get taken down. They say you violated some rule of some kind and you have no idea what it is, and you have to upgrade to be on the verified thing just to talk to somebody to find out how you get your account back.
Yeah.
Whereas your email list is literally a list of contacts that you can then go out to. And even if you did have to start an account again, you've already got a list of people that can then follow you. And, you could say to them, help, can you like and comment on my new posts to get the engagement going again?
Literally been there. That is exactly what happened to me. I have no idea. I don't really know what happened still to this day. I just woke up one morning and I couldn't get into my Facebook or my Instagram because they were connected.
Yeah.
There was no way to get it back. I tried, couldn't get it back. I had to start again. But thankfully, I had an email list and I had a spreadsheet. So between the two things, my business survived. And I think it's really important that we remember that our businesses are on our social media.
No, exactly. And things like, I think as well, a lot of people also rely for selling on things like Etsy and stuff like that. And again, they could suspend your shop and all that kind of thing. So when you can get the investment to have a website of your own, it means that you can control what products go on there. You're not limited by, I have to put up a certain amount of products, and you can, put SEO and stuff. SEO is search engine optimization, which means you put words in there that help people find you, and you can do it on all of the online shopping sites, but again, you get more flexibility. And so like, I'm working with somebody at the moment in my textbook program, which is my big like one-to-one program that I work with people on getting a Shopify website up and running. And it was certain things like people don't think about. If someone comes to your about page, just put in my favorite products and links to those products is another way of getting people to see your products without it being buy my stuff all the time, and blog posts, if you're talking about a craft fair you went to, you could say these are my most popular ones on the day and link to that product and things like that. And it's all ways of, just upping that chance of people finding you. And like when I was going through it, I actually had a whole day, so we do like whole day tech sessions with her, because I sometimes think like I do hour calls as well, but like a whole day you can really sit and like have time to think about it. And she couldn't believe how many places you can actually get like keywords in. And I was like, well, your name of your picture, your product picture for a start. Then it was like the product itself had its own link and SEO to it. Then the collection that it went in had its own link and SEO to it. Then the page that it goes on. It's like you've got like 4 chances of people now finding that one product through the different ways. But people don't understand that they need to do that. Like I worked with somebody else, she ran a crafting business. She does like craft kits, but she also ran workshops. And she was like, no one's finding me. She had this beautiful website designed by somebody. I went and looked in the background of it. I said, well, no one's finding you because you haven't actually told Google you exist. You've not connected it. She was like, oh, I didn't know I had to do that. And it's like, you've got no SEO on your pages, so no one's finding you. So it's all those little things that, again, if you just hand it over to somebody to do and you don't understand it enough because it's new to you, you don't know then if they've done everything you need them to. She thought she had this beautiful looking website on the outside. So she thought it was all done. And then as soon as I looked in the background, I was like, well, this is what. And then literally within a week, she was getting bookings. We'd done the basics but she was like, I just didn't know. I didn't know to look here, because so that's, again, one of the reasons why I won't just do it for people, because I'm like, you need to know this stuff. You need to know why these things, as you're uploading them, are done in this way and what other bits you need to do. And it may take 10 more minutes than you thought it was going to, but it's 10 more minutes that means someone's actually going to find you than it just sitting there.
Yeah. And I think that's great. It's not about you becoming an expert. It's just about you taking ownership of how the different dots in your business connect together to help you get those sales at the end of the day. Because I guess lots of creative businesses start out as a hobby, but once you start wanting to take things more seriously, ultimately that's what you want. You want people to buy your things because you want to grow what you're doing and share it with more people. So it's such an important part of tech, isn't it? Such an important part, and I know it's something that people often go, "Oh no, the tech," but
And
it
I think
doesn't hold you back.
Yeah, and I think it's being creative as well. Like with my background in what I was doing, I used to be called at work the uncreative graphic designer, because I would actually like all the other bits, of doing it. And that's where I kind of, over the last, like since I had my eldest son, who's now 8, over the last 8 years, I've realized that is the change for me, that I'm not actually, although I used to do something quite creative, I'm not actually that creative in that kind of way myself. But I can help because I can see what they're trying to do, because I've been in that environment and what they need to set up and how to give you enough knowledge so you can manage it, but that you don't need to know the ins and outs of it, because it's all about being able to just maintain it. And I'm all up for, like, because people are like, oh, does that mean you don't think I should outsource stuff at all? And I'm like, no, get people to do it for you if budget and all of that things allows it. But at least if you know what you're outsourcing and why, like, if you go to like outsource your website, like I said with that example, if you don't understand the basics of what you need it to do and how it needs to do it, you then don't know if what they've done is what you needed them to do.
And I think you can also be possibly blinded by science or tech, and you can ask for one thing and get something completely different, maybe at a price that you weren't expecting, because actually you're not quite sure what you're saying yes to. But I think the things that you share just in your your free community They're just so helpful to help you start getting your head around what you actually might need and then where you might actually start looking for it. But email is definitely a very good place to start. Lots of people who are in my community just rely at the moment on social media. And if there's one thing that I would recommend you look into, and I'm sure Nicola would agree, it's getting yourself an email list and starting that. That's a really good place to start.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, above a like your own website and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff is get the email list first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anything else like that can come afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's move on to talking about gifts and gifting in your own life. So do you give a lot of gifts? Are you a big gifter, do you think?
Yeah, well, I said I really love personalised gifts.
Yeah.
I'm just looking around the room at all the different things I've got with pictures of my kids on. There's a mouse mat,
Oh,
there's a phone cover, there's a calendar, the main thing I do for like the close relatives is I do a big photo book every year
yeah.
with all of the boys' photos on of that year, holidays we've been on, and just because who like people don't get stuff printed anymore, it's all sitting on their phone. So, and especially for like I've got my nan, she's going to be 92 this year. Like, she loves having the books there to like sit, and she says sometimes I just sit and look through them all, and like it helps her remember things that she's done with them and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's I would say when it comes to gifting, if I can put a photo on it.
Brilliant. I mean, it is such a lovely way of sharing things with people. You know what? Often you just sort of get a bit stumped. Of what am I going to buy this person? Like, for example, your grandmother. You know, she probably doesn't want more stuff now. Like, you know, and people say, "Don't buy me anything." But it's just such a lovely way of using things that you've already got. Things on your phone, like you say, you're not doing anything with. I love that idea. So do you design the books yourself, or do you tend to use like a template, or how?
No, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
So like I'll use a builder,
Yeah.
I mean, to actually upload the files too, but I tend to go with always a blank one, and I'll use Canva to design. Like, I've designed my mum jigsaws because she loves a jigsaw. Like, I'll find what people like and
Yeah.
make a personalized thing that goes with it. So magnets, jigsaw puzzles, water bottles, like I said, mouse mats, whatever. And then yeah, I generally use Canva now. I used to, obviously back in my design days, I had all Adobe and Photoshop and Illustrator and all that kind of thing. But honestly, Canva's got so much stuff on it now. And it's so easy to get things from my phone onto Canva with using the photos that I tend to just use that now, and I'll lay it all out, and then I'll just, whatever it is that I'm buying, I'll get when it just says a blank design, and then I'll upload it myself, because I find that the ones where they have the templates are too restrictive of what I want to do.
Very confident about, you're obviously very confident using Canva and things like that. But yeah, sounds like a great idea. I love the fact that you can just, like you say, you can choose the item that somebody wants. I saw somebody share on Facebook, I think this week, a diamond art that somebody had got from
Yes.
which I didn't know that you could do. So again, if you're really into something like that, the fact that you can use a photo is such a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many things nowadays that you can personalize. We've got loads of big birthdays happening. So I'm 40 this year. My
Yeah.
dad's 70. I had another like wider circle friends that were having 50ths and things like that. So I've done a lot of like number prints where it's the number made up of loads of pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For people, because again, it's just like landmarking the occasion. But again, I've designed all that in Canva as well.
It's a great idea. We haven't talked about that on the podcast before, actually creating your own gifts in that way. And obviously, from a green point of view, yeah, I think it's a good idea to like be using things that you've already got. You're creating something that's personalized that people can, have got a practical use to them
Yeah,
sometimes as well. Yeah, mouse mats, that's a great one, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, because like you don't you want to, when you are gifting it, you want it to be something that people are going to keep, that they're going to use, that they're going to get stuff out of. And you can get things made out of recycled materials now that can have personalization on it and all that kind of stuff, so you can still be green with the printing on it. But I think the more point of the fact that it is something that people are going to keep using, means it's not something that just going to get and throw away.
Or gather dust.
Yeah,
kind of thing. I particularly love giving people mugs or receiving. Personally, I like receiving mugs. You can never have too many mugs, not in this house anyway. So that's always a really good gift as well. And the fact that water bottles, we take water bottles everywhere now, don't we? And taking to school and everything. So yeah, great idea. So when you're not making gifts, do you have your kind of go-to places that you like to go and shop for, or do you always make your own gifts?
Tend to, if I can, the immediate family make something. Yeah, generally, because especially when we get like my boys are the only two kids in the family, so everyone else is an adult, and everyone just buys what they want when they want it now. So it's like, I don't want to buy something for somebody just for the sake of buying it. Whereas when it's a personalised thing, and obviously the boys are growing up, so they can, have a new one with an up-to-date one in like 5 years' time, like especially when you're talking about mugs. Yeah, and then I do like to as well, especially if there's people in my community, in my membership, buy from them. So I've got a pair of earrings basically that I wear whenever I go to an event that are made by, she's called Craft Beerings. She makes them out of beer cans.
Amazing.
I know, they're amazing, but they come in purple. My big thing is purple. Purple is everywhere. So I'm always on the lookout for personalised, for purple gifts and things like that. So so I got a pair of her earrings made out of a purple beer can, and I think I've just ordered some more from her. But every time I go out, people will say, "Oh, your earrings!" So I'm always saying, "Oh, they're from this person called, Craft Beerings." And then I've got my first in-person event on the 30th of June. And I really wanted to make sure it was an event where product businesses could have a presence as well as service businesses, because I think I've been to a lot of in-person events, and there's not a lot for product businesses too. So I wanted them, because I know I've got product businesses in my community, have an opportunity for them to have a stall to sell their stuff. And one of the ladies that's come in that's got a table, she does glass. She's a glass artist, and she does jewelry with it. She does coasters with it. She does these absolutely amazing pet portraits that I cannot believe are made out of glass, but they are.
I've heard of that. That's
I don't know what the technique of it is, but it's because she still has to fire it and stuff, so she doesn't know what the final piece is going to look like. And she did this one recently of a dog, and I was like, I cannot believe. I said to her, I messaged, I was like, is this really made in glass? Because it looked absolutely amazing. But those are the kind of things you really need to see in real life as well, don't you? Yeah, I'm really excited that there's going to be an opportunity to have those product businesses, and and just so they can showcase them, because like if you can shop small business, like we all know like what that means to that person, and there's always a story behind it. Like I said with the earrings, like there's always a story I can then say, like the fact that they come from beer cans is like, that's really cool.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I think it's really good to kind of for small businesses to, I'm really passionate about getting small businesses to be able to be seen more, because people, when they're shopping for gifts, are always looking for inspiration, because they're like, "Oh, I want to buy something different, or I want to support small businesses," but they don't always have the time to go and go out hunting. So if you can build up your online presence so that people can find you when they're looking for something, I think that's really good. But I mean, equally, you're offering people an opportunity to come and shop in person, and for people to actually physically see what people are offering. I think that's really good too. But you did a gift guide, didn't you, at Christmas, where people were able to share what products they offered as well. That was really good.
Yeah, because again, like I know what the power of blogs and sharing links, and if you can link out to someone else's website or something like that, and they can link back to you, that all helps with getting seen and getting your eyes in front of Google, because we're trying to battle with these bigger companies. So anything like that I could do, and it was just to showcase the like amount of talent and variety there is in my community, because I do support both product and service businesses, because
Yeah.
the tech, at the end of the day, the steps that you need to set it up, the tech doesn't care what your business you're running. It works, it works in the very similar way for both. To be able to showcase, to say, like, these are the products that people have got available, especially at certain times of the year, is definitely something I want to do more of, to just make people aware of. Because, like you said, it's the thing of, people want to shop small business and they want unique gifts, but then they also don't always know where to find people, and things like,
they're short of time. People are short
yeah,
of time. I know myself, I have the best of intentions, but when you've got a million other things that you're juggling, you do default to what's an easy option. But that doesn't mean that a small business can't be the easy option. And that's, what I'm constantly sort of saying. You've got to be, you've got to make sure you're visible and in front of people so that you're top of mind, and make it really easy and show people how what you're making is a great gift for, I don't know, Father's Day. That's coming up in a few weeks, isn't it? For example, the people, or teacher gifts, people are about to start.
yeah, exactly.
So what can you do to make sure that you are the obvious choice? And small business can offer sometimes better service than a bigger business, and personalized service, but you've got to be seen.
Yeah. And I think, like, just in terms of platforms and stuff, a lot of people don't realize there's things like Pinterest out there, where you can pin direct links to your products, and people are shopping for things on platforms like that more so than maybe your Instagrams and your Facebooks, where people are looking for more entertainment. When you go onto, I don't know, I personally, if I'm going onto Pinterest, it's because I'm looking for something and ideas for something. So if your business can come up, because I did, before I was doing tech, I was like specializing in, after I left doing children's books, the first thing I started learning was social media. So I started offering that first, and I was specializing in Instagram and Pinterest because I had that background in product businesses. I'd worked after I came out of doing the children's books, I worked for a children's clothing company and was designing the illustrations to go on the clothing and stuff like that. So I've got this very much product background, and it was Instagram and Pinterest. It was more when you can have an Instagram shop, which you can't really do as much now. But with Pinterest, because every pin can have a link, those links can go to your product, like whether they are on Etsy or your own website or whatever. And then it's thinking about the mindset of the person that's coming onto those platforms. And like we said, Pinterest, people are searching for inspiration. Like, I know I'm always going on there when it's my boy's birthdays, for cake inspirations. And if that then led me to somebody that was selling a certain tutorial or a kit or topper things, all that kind of stuff, I think I did buy one. In the end, he wanted a printed icing thing this year, so I've got one, and I think that is it's literally from a Pinterest. Followed the link through, so he was like, that's what I want, and was able to then buy the thing. And that's the point, is you've got to make that point of purchase as easy for people as possible. And that's why doing things like, when I put together the gift guides, those product businesses then using my visibility to help them get seen more. So it's thinking of opportunities like that, like sometimes doing something like that would be more beneficial than putting out another Instagram.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So there's so many different aspects to this, aren't there? And Pinterest is something that I haven't explored that much, but you're totally right. When people are going on there, the times that I have been on there, it's to look for something. And if you can then find what you're looking for, and then 2 clicks later, you've got it in your basket and purchased it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So the small businesses have definitely got that opportunity. Finding the right place to start, I think. So when you've done your shopping, or you've crafted your personal photo book or whatever, how do you feel about doing the wrapping part? Is it something you look forward to?
I like to wrap things up, because especially with the boys, I think they love that whole opening the paper and not knowing what, shaking the boxes, what is it kind of thing. So no, I don't mind wrapping. My husband hates it, so I end up doing it all.
Okay.
I definitely think wrapping is a love-hate thing. There's certain people that they just can't get it. And I like sometimes, especially at Christmas, I'll wrap things up sometimes to like look like a cracker or something like that, just to make it a bit more interesting. Haven't quite progressed to putting bows and stuff yet, like, but yeah, no, I do like wrapping stuff up and making it look interesting from the outside to kind of just because it just heightens that excitement, doesn't it? If something's wrapped really well and it looks really beautiful, it doesn't really then matter what's inside. I think before I literally like sometimes, especially me and my dad, have like wound people each other up before by wrapping something really interestingly, elaborately, and in the end it's like a gift card. But it's just it adds to that whole part of the occasion, doesn't it? If something's wrapped really well and looks really nice, it just makes it feel more special.
Well, funnily enough, I wrapped something the other day and I tried a different technique for making a different folded envelope, and I put some dried flowers in it, and I gave it to my mum, and they were going on holiday, so the present had to be put in a suitcase. So it was flat. And she took it away and she opened one part of the gift and she said, "Thank you for it." And I said, have you opened the other bit? And she, "What other bit?" And she thought that what I'd given her was the gift itself, just this it was sort of like origami, and it had the flowers in it, and it was so beautifully presented. She hadn't realized that there was actually a gift inside it, which was related. It was a flower subscription, hence the sort of flower on the outside. But I thought, I think I may have gone over the top here with the wrapping, because now that is the gift.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you wrapped it up so well, it didn't
Yeah.
matter what was inside.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, "Oh wow," like a bonus actually having a gift as well, which was quite funny. So you're not into the kind of bells and whistles and the bows and all those extra bits and pieces, but you enjoy the process, or
Yes. I
tolerate
think
the
if I
process.
had more time, normally I'm wrapping a bit last minute sometimes. If I had more time, I would put more on it. Maybe as the boys get older and
Yeah,
there's more time in the
yeah.
to sort these things out.
No, I do appreciate that, and I think I hear that a lot from people who I talk to on the podcast about how time is the challenge, really, especially when it comes to sort of family wrapping and things like that. But this podcast is all about trying to be greener when it comes to gifting and wrapping. Does that come into play when you're choosing how you wrap your gifts at the moment?
I think, like, in terms of like paper and stuff, it's making sure it can be recycled, because you don't want to end up with just piles of paper everywhere. So that's definitely something I do try and look for. And reusing gift bags and boxes and all that kind of thing, just to so you're not just buying new ones all the time. So I have like a whole stack upstairs of gift bags I've been given, that I'll then reuse and re-gift. And so I would say that's kind of at the moment as far as my greeniness goes.
Well, I think this is the basics, isn't it? This is the basics that use and repurpose where you can. Be mindful about the paper that you're choosing when you're buying new, so that it can be recycled. I mean, you don't have to make it complicated to be a bit greener. And I think it's better to choose one thing that you've made an effort to change than to try and do everything all at once and then, feel like you're failing. So I think that sounds absolutely great. The one thing that I love to share is that a really good green swap is the change from sellotape or like plastic tape to paper tape, and sure that your paper can be recycled. So that's my favorite tip, because it's quite an easy one to do. You don't have to do it all at once. You can use up obviously what you've already got, but next time you choose to buy some tape, swap to paper tape, and then your tape will be able to be recycled as well as your paper. So yeah. Gosh, we've been chatting for ages. I didn't realize when I said come on the podcast just how much we would have to talk about. So many different aspects, things that can help the small businesses that are listening. Really interested in hearing about your creative background and what you do with your own gifting now as well. So, Nicola, I'm really excited to be able to be coming to your event, which is happening really soon. So I'm going to be able to do some of my gift shopping with some of your lovely product stores, which is really exciting. So tell us about the event, where we can get tickets.
Yeah, so it's called Community and Connection Live. It's happening in Chelmsford in Essex on the 30th of June from 10 till 4. There are a couple of product tables still available at the time of recording. So please do get in touch. But basically the point of the day is I've got My 4 speakers are people that have been part of my journey since I started. This is the first online in-person event I'm putting together, but they've all got different skills in different areas of business. So one does like business strategy, one's sales, one's my website mentor, and then social media, because they're all like really important parts of running a business alongside the tech. And what I've asked all of my speakers to do is make sure that they have an activity that we can take part of an action on the day, because I've been to loads of in-person events, made pages full of notes, and then come home and I'm like, right, what do I do with this now?
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. I wanted people to be able to actually make progress and do something for their business in the day. But also it's about meeting the people away from the screens, because obviously everything I do in terms of my services is online. So I wanted to bring people together. So people are going to move around tables, and that's where people like you, right, brilliant table hosts, are going to come in. And I think being the table host is going to give you an opportunity to talk to more of these product businesses that are going to be in the room, because everyone's going to move around tables as well, because I've been to loads of events as well where you're in rows, you get your seat for the day, and then that's it, and you only talk to the people that are around you. I want to make sure that you leave that room knowing who is in there, you know, and you know what they do and where that fits, whether that's just someone nice that you know that you might then buy a gift from if they're a product business, or is it someone that you could collaborate with? Is it someone you could do an offer with down the future, you know, run a competition or like exchange services, all that kind of thing. Like, you're going to leave that day having known the people that were there, rather than just, like I said, pages of notes and nice selfies.
Yeah, exactly that. It's about connection and meeting people who get what you do, and you never know where your next collaboration might come from. That sounds very exciting. So where can people find out or buy a ticket if they want to?
So it's all on my website, thismumlovestech.co.uk. But if you want to speak to me about it, I'm This Mum Loves Tech on all platforms. Instagram's probably the best platform to find me on, but if you put This Mum Loves Tech in, I'm about everywhere.
You'll see Nicola and everything purple, and you won't be able to miss her. We will pop all of the links to your socials and your website and information about the event in the show notes, so that people can come along and meet other product businesses, meet you, and find out more about This Mum Loves Tech. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I know it's so much value for everybody listening. So thank you very much, Nicola.
Thank you, it's been brilliant.
Thank you for listening to the Greener Gifting Gang podcast. For free resources, head to giftupbyeve.com/freebies and follow Eve on socials at giftupbyeve on Instagram and Facebook.